The 2025 Formula One Chinese Grand Prix race at the Shanghai International Circuit has become the focus of the world after presenting a major surprise. Two main drivers, Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc of Ferrari, were disqualified from the final results of the race after their cars failed the FIA's post-race technical inspection. This decision not only shook up the drivers' standings, but also gave a huge advantage to the McLaren team, who successfully dominated the podium with a 1-2 finish. Do you think this decision will change the competitive landscape this season? Let's discuss. The FIA made a surprising decision that shook the final result of the race by disqualifying several drivers after a series of strict technical inspections. This announcement was made a few hours after the end of the race, causing major changes to the previously announced standings and results. One of the drivers affected by this decision was Charles Leclerc of the Ferrari team. Initially, he managed to finish the race in 5th place, but was later disqualified after it was found that his car had a weight below the minimum limit set by the Formula One technical regulations. The results of the FIA inspection showed that Leclerc's car weighed only 799 kilograms, which is 1 kilogram lighter than the minimum allowed. Although this difference may seem small, F1 regulations are very strict to ensure that all cars are within the specified limits in order to maintain fair and balanced competition on the track. In addition to Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton, who started the race in 6th place, suffered a similar fate. The FIA found that his car's skid block had worn beyond the tolerance allowed by the technical regulations. Skid blocks are key components installed on the underside of the car to ensure that the car is not too low, thus creating an illegal aerodynamic advantage. With the level of wear not in compliance with the regulations, the FIA finally made a firm decision to disqualify Hamilton from the race results. Not only Ferrari and Mercedes were affected, but also the Alpine team, where Pierre Gasly became the third driver to receive similar consequences. His car was also found to be under the minimum weight limit, the same as Leclerc's car. As a result, Gasly lost the 11th position he had initially achieved in the race. This FIA decision had a major impact on the race results and the provisional championship standings. With the disqualification of Leclerc, Hamilton, and Gasly, the other drivers who finished behind them gained an advantage by moving up in the official race results. This also had an impact on the points scored in the championship, especially for drivers who were close to the top. There were mixed reactions from the affected teams. Ferrari openly expressed their disappointment with the decision, although they also admitted that the rules had to be respected. Some analysts and F1 fans questioned whether stricter technical checks should have been carried out before the race to avoid such drastic changes to the results after the race. This race brought a big surprise after the disqualification decision against Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton. Both drivers were disqualified for technical violations found during the post-race inspection, which drastically changed the final result. This reshuffle directly benefited McLaren, who now recorded a brilliant result with Oscar Piastri's victory. Piastri, who had previously finished third, was declared the winner after the revised results. His teammate, Lando Norris, moved up to 2nd place, making the race a McLaren-dominated event. Meanwhile, Mercedes' George Russell also benefited, moving up to 3rd place and securing a podium finish. With this result, McLaren proved their strength as one of the leading teams in the competition this season. The impact of this decision was particularly noticeable for Ferrari, who lost a total of 18 points in the Constructors' Championship due to Leclerc's disqualification. Their position has now dropped to 5th place, 61 points behind current champions McLaren. This situation further complicates Ferrari's fight for the championship, considering the fierce competition at the top. On the other hand, the Drivers' Championship has also seen significant changes. Lewis Hamilton, who was previously in a better position, now has to settle for 9th place with only 9 points. Charles Leclerc experienced a similar fate, dropping to 10th place with 8 points. This situation provides an additional challenge for both drivers to return to the top in the next race. A surprising incident occurred in the race when two Ferrari drivers, Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton, were involved in an incident on the first lap. This incident started when they entered Turn 2, where Leclerc and Hamilton's cars collided, causing damage to the front wing of Leclerc's car. The impact caused him to lose control for a moment, but he managed to continue the race without having to pit early. Despite the damage to his car, Leclerc showed great spirit and did not blame his teammate for the incident. In a post-race interview, Leclerc explained that Hamilton was most likely unaware of his car's position when the incident occurred. He saw the incident as part of the dynamics of racing, which are often difficult to avoid, especially in the early corners when many drivers are fighting for the best position. According to him, there was no malicious intent on either side, and the incident was something normal in the world of racing. After the incident, Leclerc continued to show a competitive performance and managed to secure 5th place at the finish line, while Hamilton finished 6th. But the drama did not stop there. Moments after the race ended, a surprising decision was announced by the FIA, stating that both Ferrari drivers had to be disqualified for separate technical violations. The car driven by Hamilton was found to have excessive wear on the skid block, exceeding the limit set by the regulations. Meanwhile, Leclerc's car was disqualified for being below the minimum weight allowed by the technical regulations. Ferrari team principal Fred Vasseur responded to the incident, admitting that there was a technical error in the car's setup. He explained that the pit stop strategy implemented during the race contributed to the problems that occurred, particularly in maintaining the weight balance of the car until the end of the race. Vasseur also stressed that, despite the setback caused by the disqualification, the relationship between Hamilton and Leclerc remains solid and both have shown a high level of professionalism in dealing with this difficult situation. This incident is a heavy blow for Ferrari, who had hoped to achieve better results in the race. However, the team remains optimistic and promises to carry out a thorough evaluation to ensure that similar incidents do not happen again in the future. Ferrari is determined to come back stronger in the next race and ensure that its car is fully compliant with the technical regulations so that it can compete at the top without any regulatory constraints. Ferrari issued an official statement immediately after the FIA decision was announced. They admitted that the one-stop strategy applied to Leclerc caused the tire wear rate to be too high, making his car lighter than the permitted limit. As for Hamilton's disqualification, the team revealed that they had misjudged the wear rate of the skid blocks, although there was no intention to gain an unfair advantage. It is very disappointing that our result in the Chinese GP has been overturned. This was an unintentional technical error and we will ensure that it does not happen again in the future, said Ferrari team principal Fred Vasseur. Meanwhile, Hamilton himself reacted calmly to the decision, although he could not hide his disappointment. The British driver admitted that the result was difficult to accept, but tried to remain professional. We had a good race, our strategy worked perfectly, but unfortunately the rules are the rules. There is nothing we can do but accept it. Now our main focus is on the next race and making sure we come back stronger, said the 7-time world champion in an optimistic tone. On the other hand, the McLaren team celebrated their extraordinary victory in Shanghai. Oscar Piastri said that this victory was the result of the team's hard work in preparing the car perfectly throughout the weekend. We showed incredible speed and this is a great motivation for us to continue competing at the top, said Piastri. This incident is a reminder to all F1 teams of how strict the technical regulations are in this most prestigious of racing events. One small mistake can be fatal and undo a weekend's hard work. Ferrari must now work even harder to get back on track and ensure that there are no more loopholes in the rules. With this result, the competition in the 2025 season will be tighter and more interesting. Teams will be more aware of the technical regulations and fans can look forward to even more intense races. Can Ferrari recover from this setback? Write your opinion.